Welcome to my PowerPoint about economy jokers in Balatro. We start with the most basic golden joker. It gives $4 at the end of round. This is very good, actually, and a lot of people like to base the value they're getting from most other economy-based jokers on golden joker. Say Rocket. Rocket is a perfect example. Rocket gives $1 at the end of round, increasing by 2 whenever you beat the boss blind while having Rocket. That means you have to beat 2 boss blinds for Rocket to give more money than Golden Joker. So, even if you get, Rocket on ante 1, round 1, the small blind, then you'll only get $1 up until ante 3. That being said, it's still good. Rocket, still quite good. It gets better and better for every boss you beat. Overall, both of these two jokers are incredibly solid. They give you a lot of money. They make it so having, the $25 interest cap is a little less necessary. They make it so having more hands is a little less necessary because, otherwise that's the only way you're getting money. But, with these, you don't need it. And that's why economy jokers are so strong, is it lets you get more money, of course, but you have a little more flexibility in your gameplay as well. Then there's business card and reserve parking. Business card has a 1 in 2 chance to give $2 when a face card is scored. Oops all sixes makes it a 100% chance, and then, jokers like Sock and Buskin or, Hanging Chad, re-triggers make it so you'll get even more money. This is pretty good, but it starts to fall off once you get to, the mid to late game, in my opinion. And then there's reserve parking. It has a 1 in 2 chance of giving $1 per face card held in hand. It is technically easier to hold more face cards than it is to play, assuming you have an equal spread of them. But, I mean, $1 is kind of pennies for the majority of the game. Getting it early can be nice, but, Mime would work with it, of course, just like how, Sock and Buskin works with business card, but I wouldn't take Mime just because you have a reserve parking, personally. Then we have Cloud9. Okay, now we're going to get to some of the jokers that are actually, can go pretty ham in the money they give you. Cloud9 gives you $1 per 9 in your deck at the end of the round. So you already start with 4 9s in your deck, so this is just as good as Golden Joker, although it is an uncommon, and Golden Joker is a common, right? But for every 9 that you add, it gives you another $1. I had a run recently where I started with 2 9s that were both sealed. One was a blue seal and one was a purple seal. And then I got Cloud9 and I was like, damn. And I completely transitioned my deck into 9s. This isn't my screenshot. I didn't get 105 9s, but I got up to 20 9s in my deck. And I was getting $20 from end of round from Cloud9. That's a lot of money. I think Cloud9, it probably has the highest amount of money it can give you of any joker, I want to say. Of course, you have to get a lot of 9s, which isn't the easiest, but it's about as easy as getting a full deck of any card, so it's not like it's the end of the world. That being said, 9s aren't the best, card to get for your full deck. The only card that synergizes with them is, of course, Cloud9. It's not even like 8s where like Fibonacci works with it, or 10s with 10-4. It's kind of just the money from Cloud9, but if you're getting a lot of your molt from your jokers and not from your 9s themselves, then it's not like it matters that much. Getting a crazy amount of money can help you set that up pretty easily. And then there's delayed gratification. This gives $2 per discard if no discard was used. This, of course, is really good with red deck or I guess green deck as well, because they both have more synergy with discards than the other decks. Red deck gives you +1, green deck gives you more money if you hold on to discards. So it is really good there. I really do like delayed gratification. It's fun to play around. I always say that I like discards, and I like jokers that are based around discards. And delayed gratification technically is the opposite, but that's, again, it's more fun to play with. I like it when jokers have conditions, or especially not even easy conditions, because not using any discards is pretty difficult for a lot of situations. It definitely is a lot better when you're getting most of your scoring from flat molt and times molt from your jokers rather than from poker hands or stuff like that, because you can't really play straights very well with something like delayed gratification, because again, if you're trying to play straights, you want to be using your discards, versus if you're playing 2 of a kind, 3 of a kind, or even if you've made your deck perfectly match or made your deck so you can have 4 of a kind, 5 of a kinds very consistently, then yeah, sure. But if you have to be discarding to make your poker hand, then delayed gratification is just completely useless. Then there's some funny ones. So gift card and egg are actually incredibly funny. Gift card gives all your jokers +1 sell value at the end of round. This can synergize with swashbuckler, but I mean, the main use, of course, is temperance. Similar to egg, egg gives it or gains $3 of sell value at the end of each round. And again, oh my gosh, again, this can work with swashbuckler, but the primary use is to, you know, have it with temperance and then just like sell it for a big pop-off turn. Swashbuckler is just so weird. Maybe if it included its own sell value, I think it would be a lot better, because it would make, you know, gift card a lot better. But it's just like, it's just kind of the meh Joker. Like, yeah, you can see in this screenshot, again, it's not mine, I found it on Reddit, that like, oh yeah, if you have 1 billion eggs, you can get super crazy swashbuckler value, but like, that's not happening. Let's be real here, that's not happening to you. Do be careful with egg, though, because it can have, if you're playing in like higher stakes, it can have perishable and eternal, so be very careful with egg, because its entire thing is that you have to sell it. So if you can't sell it because it has eternal, that's really, really funny. Then you have Faceless Joker and Mail-in Rebate. So Faceless Joker gives $5 when you discard 3 or more face cards. With Pareidolia, of course, this goes crazy, but I definitely undervalued this Joker. I had a run where I had it with Pareidolia recently, and I was like, oh wow, this is a lot better than I thought it was. I still think it is slightly worse than Mail-in Rebate because it just gives less money. However, when you do have, you know, a lot of face cards or Pareidolia, etc., it really isn't that bad, especially in the early game. In the mid game, yeah, it's okay as well. I definitely wouldn't hold on to this in the late game. It's not enough money. It doesn't give any scoring benefit. It doesn't give any scaling, but yeah. And then there's Mail-in Rebate. It gives $5 per discarded card, and it changes each round. So if you get, you know, $5 per discarded king, or 2, or 7, or jack, right? So you do have that. And like I said, it is less consistent than Faceless Joker because it is random, but I mean, if you discard 1 card that it says on Mail-in Rebate, it gives you the same amount of money as discarding 3 cards on Faceless Joker. So it's not like it's very hard to use. It is, of course, you know, less consistent because there are some times you're not going to draw something like that. But you could also just not draw 3 face cards. Yeah. Well, I don't think Faceless Joker is as bad as I thought. I still think Mail-in Rebate is significantly better, and I don't really understand a lot of the people that were trying to argue with me that it wasn't. Then we have a Golden Ticket. Golden Ticket gives $4 per scored golden card. This is, of course, a great synergy with, like, you know, Midas Mask or, you know, Devil, etc. I could have put Midas Mask on here. I didn't really want to because it doesn't really, it's not necessarily the same as all out of these other Jokers, so I just left it off. But Golden Ticket actually works with retriggers. So if you have a full hand of 5 golden cards, they'll give you $20, or, you know, if you have Sock and Buskin, it'll make it 40. If you have Hanging Chad, it'll increase it even more. You know, every time you have a retrigger, it will just increase money of Golden Ticket. And then there's Rough Gem. Rough Gem gives $1 per diamond scored. This is pretty decent, you know, for money generation wise. Of course, you're gonna get $5 every time you play a full flush hand, but it's just not that good. Diamonds are probably the worst suit. So every single, how do I word this? Diamonds are tied for the second least amount of jokers that affect them. You know, spades and clubs have blackboard, so it means they have 1 more than hearts and diamonds. But hearts have bloodstone, and diamonds have rough gem. So yeah, diamonds are probably the worst, which means that rough gem is not very good. And if rough gem isn't very good, then diamonds aren't very good. And if diamonds aren't very good, then rough gem is, it's a feedback loop, right? So although you can use it, and you know, for wild cards, or I don't even know, but like you can do stuff there, it's just not that good. It's just really not that good. I have to be honest with you. I think I've only ever taken rough gem like once or twice, and because you just don't go for diamond builds with flushes very often. You're trying to go for flushes, you want to be going for like hearts or spades. I think it's clubs is actually better. I think it's hearts, clubs, spades, diamonds in that order, because bloodstone is so strong. And then you have like seeing double for clubs. I don't know, whatever. Then there's Matador. So when I made my my boss blind video, people were like, "Oh, Matador's so good. It gets a retrigger on a lot of bosses." I'm like, "Okay, sure, but it can only trigger on 11 of 28 boss blinds." Window, head, club, goad, plant, pillar, flint, eye, arm, ox, and verdant leaf. It's the only ones I can trigger on. And while, yes, it can re-trigger multiple times, so it doesn't work on even half of the boss blinds. So the amount of times you're getting it is super low. It is incredibly inconsistent. You have to be able to even trigger the boss blind in the first place. It's just like, yeah, it's a yeah. I still think it's the worst Joker in the game. I don't think that's really a big argument. The money it gives you is like okay at best, and you still have to like forcibly trigger the boss blinds to get it to work. Yeah. And then there's trading card. Trading card makes it so your first discard is one card, it will destroy it and give you $3. This is great for deck fixing, and it works for like Canio, right? If you want to destroy face cards. So it's there. I mean, also $3 is just $3. I mean, this isn't really that big of an economy Joker, I do have to say, but $3 is $3, so you can't really deny it. I like trading card. I do think it is quite strong. Deck fixing is very powerful in this game to hit the poker hands you want to hit consistently. So, of course, it has its place. It just, as an economy Joker, it's just not that good, I do have to say. But, like, you have to include it in a video like this. Then we have... Then we have To the Moon, To-Do List, and Satellite. This video is actually quite short, I haven't realized, because, you know, money is not too difficult to talk about. But we do have to talk about To the Moon a bit. To the Moon gives an additional $1 per $5 equal to the interest cap. So a base of $5 if you have $25. It'll be $10 with seed money if you have $50, or $20 with money tree if you have $100. There's a chart down below. This is pretty good. It gives, I think, the second most amount of money. No, I guess it wouldn't. It gives one of the highest amount of monies of any of the amount of or any of these Jokers. I think the highest is Cloud9. Then it's Golden Ticket with retriggers, and then it's To the Moon with $100. It'll give you 20. That's good. Money, of course, is very strong, and, you know, having more of it lets you do more rolling and all that. To the Moon can be quite good, right? Like I said, you know, if you have, you know, base interest cap at 25, it's better than a Golden Joker, which is pretty good. If you have seed money, you know, it gets even better. I think that while Money Tree is, of course, really good if you can have over $100 consistently, I think that, you know, it's not like you're going out of your way for it, personally. I don't think that you should be going out of your way for Money Tree. Maybe that's just me, but I think a lot of the time you're not going to have $100, and, like, yeah. Like, yeah, it would eventually pay for itself, and, like, you can make that argument, but, like, $10 is still $10, and sometimes it's just not worth it to buy a voucher. Doesn't matter if it eventually gives you more money, eventually will pay itself off. Like, a lot of the time, having more power now is better than having more power later. It's kind of how I see things. So, yeah. But, I mean, To the Moon, it still can be quite good. I definitely don't think it's I think it's worthwhile picking up if you have interest cap in the slightest. Like, if you're at interest cap for any of these, it's always worth picking up. Let me rephrase. It's worth picking up if you don't need the scoring. If you need money. You do have to preface that. Then there's To-Do List. To-Do List gives you $4 if you play the specified poker hand each round. This is, like, amazing early game, because you're going to be playing a lot of different poker hands in the early game. You're going to get a mismatch of planet cards and levels, so it's not super easy to have one specific poker hand, which makes it so To-Do List is really good. One hand is $1, but playing one hand to play a To-Do List is $4, so, like, there is that as well, and it's just fun to do. It makes you have to actually think about what poker hands you're playing. It makes it so you don't just play the highest scoring one every time, because sometimes you just want more money. And then, last but maybe not least, is Satellite. Satellite, this is the one that everyone knows you gotta have $400 to unlock it, so, you know, you would think that it would be, like, kind of crazy, and it's really not. It gives $1 per unique planet card played this run. $9 normally, 12 with the secret planets. This is not bad, but having one of each planet cards is not easy. It's actually pretty hard. especially when you get like Telescope in the mix, which you want to be taking Telescope because it's really strong. So this can like be hard to do, and then like having to sacrifice a planet card in a good poker hand for a bet, like when you're not using, just to get money is awkward to say the least. But I mean, if you've got like an Empress and then you have this, you know, you can get some pretty good money pretty easily. So it's not like, it's not terrible, right? It's a pretty decent Joker, I do have to say. You know, you'll probably have like 3 or 4 like planets when you're, you know, able to get this, which makes it, you know, not bad, right? As long as it, but I mean, it's just like, it's not consistent. It's pretty hard to set up, I do have to say. I just don't think it's worth it in most scenarios. I think it's not going to be worth it unless like you've been super unlucky with your planets and you just have to take, like, and you're like, okay, well, I don't want any of these every single time, so you just take a random one, I guess. I don't know. Just don't know. Or if you got a lot of Empresses or something, I don't know. Or I guess technically, if you're playing To-Do List with blue seals, you could eventually get, you know, all of the different poker hands for satellite. I don't know, man. I'm trying to think of use cases for it. And it's just like, you have to get the satellite first, and then it like tells you to go for this, because other way around, you wouldn't be picking up random planets, right? So it's like, damn, this is kind of awkward. But yeah, that's giving it for me. This one is a little shorter than some of the other ones because, well, it's not really that hard to talk about a lot of the planet cards. It's not really a lot of math involved, in my opinion, so I don't really have to harp on a lot of them. It's just, is something good for money or is it bad for money? Yes or no? Anyway, my socials are there on screen. If you guys would like, you can join my Discord. It's popping off on Balatro. People are joining every day and talking about Balatro all day long. I mentioned previously that we are planning a tournament with the multiplayer Balatro mod. It's groups of 8, so we would like to get more people for that. I'm planning on doing it when I hit 10,000 subscribers, or after, I guess, which is going to be actually really soon. I'm serious. It might be this Friday, which is really crazy because, guys, from Hearthstone, it would take like a month to get like 1,000 subscribers. I have gotten 2,000 subscribers from Balatro in a week. What the hell? I am so thankful for you guys. I love YouTube, right? And I was genuinely considering quitting because Hearthstone was so dead and just a bad, unplayable game. And then I'm like, you know what? I like Balatro. I might as well make videos on it. Boom. It worked. And I'm so thankful for everyone that's been watching. I'm going to do a big, like, kind of thank you video at 10,000. So be ready for that. But yeah, everything's on screen. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Getting close to 10,000 is kind of why I'm plugging so hard. But yeah, I will see you guys next time. Have a great day. Peace out.